Welcome back in next part, which is I believe the part 20, and now we will bake our data from the high poly model in Substance Designer. I am now on Substance Designer 200 2017 1.2. Okay, we need to start by clicking in this window and create a new package. And now we need to import our low high poly OBJ and also that 16K texture from Agisoft Photoscan. So go to link and link 3D mesh. Navigate to our OBJ, find the high OBJ and click open. That can take a few seconds because this is 8 million points as we remember. Oh, it was quicker. So next one, the low version, and also import bitmap, which is the 16K texture, of course. And I believe that will take a little bit longer to load. Yes, so we need to wait few seconds. I don't know, but I believe this texture have around 4 or 500 megabytes in, I don't know, in TIFF or PNG. No, we make it PNG. So yeah, this can take a little while to load. And you may be asking yourself why I am baking all the desired textures to use later in Substance Painter, in Substance Designer, and why this is not baked in Substance Painter. The answer is simple, because Substance Designer have much more options to work, and you don't know when you will need them to use. And in Painter we don't have that many options and maps, so that's why I am using Substance Designer to bake all of the data. Okay, our texture is loaded, and now we will save our file. So save. Uh, I already saved it because I was in need to take a look at some options. So make a Substance Designer folder in our main project folder and name it Tree Trunk Bake. Save. Yes. Okay, and now select the tree trunk low, right click on it and bake model information. And now we have a separate window in which we will set up our model and our maps. So first of all, set up high definition meshes. So add from resources, because we already loaded it. So tree trunk high. Okay. Next one, maybe let's change the output. So from that we need to go to our textures, and I do another folder inside the textures folder and call it baked maps, because they I believe will be only used in Painter to paint, and not later in Blender. So I don't like to mix that baked maps with the maps later generated in Painter, which will be the PBR textures. So I make another folder inside it. So select it. That can stay. And now the size. Of course, I will not now choose the 8K because it will take too much time to now in this tutorial to just process. So but I will in your project folder there will be 8K texture, so don't worry. For this part we will use the 4K with PNGs and anti-aliasing subsampling 4x4, UV0 of course, and everything else can stay. And now we need to add our bakers. So start with not from the top, because first we need to have our normal map. When using Blender and Cylx we need to change the normal orientation from direct to OpenGL, and now we need to add ambient occlusion map from mesh. Also here we can point the normal map, so we need to click this, and as you can see from previous baker. So if we will not start with normal map, we will not have this option. So remember that and start always with normal map from mesh, and then in a situation like this we can choose the from previous baker and choose the normal map from mesh. And well, maybe we don't need to use this in the ambient occlusion map from mesh. No, apologize, but you anyway know now that the normal map needs to be first. Next baker is the bent normal map from mesh, and also the normal orientation, change it to OpenGL. Next one, we don't need color map from mesh, we don't need convert UV to SVG. Curvature, this is important, and here we need to point the normal map, so from previous baker, and choose the normal map from mesh, and also change the normal orientation from direct to OpenGL. Next one is height map. This one is already there. Opacity, we don't have opacity map. Position, we need well, there was a position map from mesh, we need this one. Thickness map from mesh. Transferred texture from mesh. Well, in this case we don't need to use this, because our high poly mesh and our low poly mesh, I mean mid poly but we call it low, have the same UV space, the same UVs. So you remember that we was exporting the model with reprojected detail from ZBrush to Blender, and then from Blender to ZBrush. So we don't need to use this, but we will use this so you know how to deal when you will have different UVs from the HP and the low version of the mesh. So nothing really hard here, just we need to load our texture file, and from resource, and this is the 16K, which will be scaled down to 4K map. and everything else can stay. So this was the transfer texture from mesh. And workspace direction, I don't remember if this is needed, but we will use it also. So workspace direction, what we have here from texture, no, uniform vector, and change to OpenGL normal orientation. And the last one, workspace normals, and here we also need to load the from previous Baker normal map from mesh and change the orientation to OpenGL baking type normal. Yes, and that is all from the maps which we need later. And now save baking setup. I don't know where it is saved, but maybe in the just in the project. And here the match option, it will not change anything, but we can change it to always. And that is all. Yes, and now we just need to render selected bakers, and of course wait I don't know, maybe even 30-40 minutes to finish it. So I will of course go back to you when this is finished, but I mean I don't know how long it will take, but I will definitely go back to you to show you the results. So I am pausing the video. Okay, and now the baking process is over, so we can cancel this. And now you can see all the maps. So everything worked. Of course, this is the proper 4K color map. And yes, and this is over for Substance Designer. Let's only save our file. So save all. And in next part we are going to Substance Painter. So thank you for patience here, and I am inviting you to the next part.